In this video, we are assembling the Snowman pop-up cards. There are 3 different versions of this Snowman. So the first thing you're going to want to do is sort all of your pieces, line them up to the what am I trying to say? To the grouping that they belong to. I'm missing one piece, which is, maybe it'll show up in here somewhere. Might have to cut another one. Okay, so the back piece and the front piece here are the same on each one. So I'm only going to show you how to do that one time, okay? And then I'll show you how to assemble each of the snowmen. And then I'll show you how to assemble one base. So I have put my panel pieces on, and you just want to fold everything on the score lines. Now, as you look at your piece, there's only one that has a slit cut right on a score line. You see that's right on the score line. This is your top, okay? These with only 2 here on the bottom, 1 on each one. This is the bottom. So this one here with 2 is your top. So you'll want to identify that, especially if your pattern paper that you use matters, which direction it goes in, so that you don't do it upside down. Now what I'm doing here is folding on the score lines, and what we're going to do, as you can see on this finished one, is right here we are gluing this 1/4 inch section here that we just folded. We're gluing this to the inside of our box. You can see here this is folded down and glued to the inside. What this does is when you open this card, because these are situated inside the box, it helps it stay open so that you can hold it. I noticed in a lot of these designs, when you hold it, it just collapses on you. You can't really hold it. This prevents it from closing. You have to actually push it inside the card to open it and push it out to close it. Okay, so we're just going to apply some glue here. And just glue these down. So this is a little bit thick because it's doubling up on the paper, so you have to just hold that for a few seconds longer. If you're using a quick dry glue, if you're not using a quick dry glue, you may want to use clips to hold it in place while it dries. Again, because it is a little bit thicker, it does take a little bit to get it to glue down. And so again, you can see here I've got this 1/4 inch space just glued to the inside. This is your outside. Okay, so then we're just going to set that aside. I'm going to pull in, grab a pair of scissors here. I decided that I wanted my center snowflake here to be popped up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay. I forgot to put the snow piece on this, so instead of messing it up and covering up my snowflake, I'm just going to leave that one the way it is. Here's how it should be. Okay. So let's pull this in and find my snowflakes. There's my extra snow that's supposed to be for that. Okay. So you just want to take a minute and determine which way is the best fit for your snowflake. I'm doing it again. Let me hurry up and get glue on this. So put your snow piece on first. It's a race when you're using a quick dry glue to get that in there. Okay. So it's 3 different sizes. They graduate to the smallest. And again, I want my center one, this one, to be popped up with foam tape. So I'm using my fine tip bottle and I'm just putting a dot of glue on each circle and then on the little what looks like arms from the back side, because I don't want those to fold up and get caught in the card as it opens and closes. So that's pretty straightforward and simple. This piece is also doubled. One piece is longer than the other. This is the tab that's going to insert through the bottom of the base and then fold back and glue. I didn't feel that needed to be doubled, and it just helps it fold better without all the added thickness of 2 pieces. So that's why that piece is that way, okay? And then we've got here the bottom piece, which I did not create with a piece of snow across the bottom because I felt like it would be harder to see your snowflakes if they were on white. If you want that piece, just cut an extra one of these to put on there. But I'm not using that. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a dot of glue on the circles and then on the little arms. I'm going to put the 2 smaller ones on first. The 2 small ones are the same size, and then you have one that's bigger. That's for the top. These 2 are the same size. All 3 of these are the same size. So what happened was I thought I had cut a smaller snowflake for my snowman hat, but I actually, in the file, it's the bigger one, just because it cuts out nicer. So I had pulled the wrong the wrong piece for the bottom. So take a look at that. Make sure that you are getting the right one. Now I have warned in the past about using foam tape in the within the bottom 2 inches of a pop-up card because it goes inside the base and it could affect the way it closes. I'm gonna break my own rule and use a piece of foam tape here on this. But I caution you not to, if you put foam on this piece in the bottom 2 inches, don't put it on any of the others, okay? Because you don't want to bulk up your card so that it won't fold for mailing. Okay, so there's those pieces. Now we've gotten the front and the back done, and now we'll take a look at our snowmen. So just like this back piece, this is 2 pieces already glued together. I dry them under my mat so that they don't curl as bad because they are tall. And the first piece you want to put on is your snow, unless you want your snowman to look like he's under the snow. I want mine to look like he's sitting on top of the snow. You want to make sure that you cut this base piece, this piece here, in the color of your snowman's arms. Okay, that's the only time the arms show up. So you'll want to cut that whatever color you want his arms to be. Then we're just gonna layer the top of the snowman to his eyes and button. There we are. And we're going to assemble his scarf. And then his snowflake just goes up here on his hat. I did have these snowflakes smaller. They did not cut well, so I had to enlarge the ones for the bottom and this one here for his hat, which is why I chose the bigger one for his hat, because it cuts the nicest. And there he is. Okay. And then we have a snowman with, I just want to take a look. I think maybe this one I'll put under the snowbank just to switch it up and show you that it doesn't matter which way you decide to do them. I don't know if you can tell, but I have inked all the edges of my white pieces. I like the way it looks, but I also have to do that for photography purposes because I use a light box for the product photos. And so, you know, it's not necessary to do it, but I ink all the edges of white so that there's a distinct line when I photograph it. So that's the reason for my inking. I think it adds a little bit of depth to your snow. I like inking snow with blue. That is definitely a personal preference. And adding his nose sure adds just that final, whoopsie, cute little I don't like it that way. So there's nothing too difficult. Don't let the pieces make you feel like this is just a daunting task. Again, when you cut it, if you break everything down into where they go, it helps. Also, the number of pieces on these is increased because you have to double 2 of them for the stability when you assemble it. Yeah, I do like him behind the little snowdrift. That's cute. Okay, so there's our ski cap snowman, and then we have this guy, our Santa hat snowman. And it doesn't have to be a Santa hat. You could do that any color. Excuse me. It could be like one of those stocking hats. It would be cute striped. I think if I make this one again, I'll do that. I'll make it like a stocking hat, like that one boy in A Christmas Story wears. I do always try to add a little bit of dimension to my pieces, even if it's something as simple as a pom-pom. There we go. Okay, so the next part is to get these assembled and into the card base. Okay, so and yes, when I make my own, even when I'm not showing them in a video, I always, because the one time I've gotten sure of myself and tried it without putting my pieces in, just taking them and putting them in to see, make sure I have them where they go. I messed it up. So I do like to just stick my pieces in the slot, make sure when I fold it together everybody's facing the right way. Whoopsie. And then I lay it down and I take these out one at a time like that. And I start here with the back. And it's going through the top down through to the bottom, the slit in the bottom piece, okay? And then you're going to flip this over, and where this tab is sticking through on the bottom, you're going to fold it up and glue this into place. Okay, and then on this one you start with the one in the back, and it slides all the way through the top, down, through to the bottom. Flip it over. Fold it up and glue it to the bottom. Okay. Now, this piece is our center piece, and this is what operates the card. This is what makes the top and bottom go up and down. So this one's done just a little bit different. You're gonna, when you slide it in through the top, now you're gonna lift this top tab up. We're gonna glue the tab to the center piece, in this case the snowman. So we are just gluing the tab here to the snowman, and then we're going to do the same thing with the bottom tab. So this bottom tab is going to fold up and glue to our center snowman. You don't want to use too much glue because you don't want to glue your card shut. And then if you just push it up, you'll see that the top and bottom pieces go up and down with your snowman. Okay, so he's just glued here to the center. Now we're going to close our card. And to do that, your top tab is going to stay unfolded down. Your bottom tab you're going to fold up. And we're going to bring this over and we're going to glue these tabs together. Okay, we're going to glue these tabs here to these tabs here. So you need to apply enough glue to hold your card shut, but not so much that it totally glues your card closed. Okay, so you see here we've got the glue on the tabs. We're going to glue them to these. And you've got quite a bit of bulk in here, especially for the top one. So you just want to take enough time holding it, pushing on it to make sure that these tabs are glued together. Okay, and then I test my card. This is with the insert pushed down, okay? And then you can see that when you push it up, it goes up and it comes back down. So if everything doesn't go up and down when you do this before you close it up, you've missed a step somewhere, okay? Then we're going to close the card. And there he is. There is our snowman pop-up. Now, so I'll show this to you 2 more times. So again, we're gluing this to the bottom. So you can see on this one, those tabs are glued to the bottom. Now put in our center. Test it and see, I can see that this is coming up a little bit more than I would want it to, because I don't want my card to come apart either. There we go. Fold the bottom tab up, leave the top one down. We're going to glue them to the opposite side. Test it. Glue it shut. There's that guy. Now for our last one. And I just always, I'm pulling and pushing on this piece to make sure it's all the way in. Again, slide it through to the bottom. put our center in. Being careful not to get glue over the edges and glue our card shut. We're going to fold up the bottom tab, leave the top tab down, apply glue. Bring it over and sandwich this together. Okay. And there it is. Up and down. It's working properly. And that is the Snowman pop-up cards. Thank you for joining me.